Okay, hello and welcome. I'm Jason Gumpert from msdynamicsworld.com. Welcome to one of the final events in our Spring 2015 CRM webcast series, our Solution Showcase event. It's been a busy season. We started this series back in April, and we've run a range of different webcasts for our readers and our audience, ranging from the tactical to the strategic, covering some of the latest capabilities of dynamic CRM, as well as concepts in project management, user adoption, and more. If you missed any of these events, I suggest you go back to the MS Dynamics World webcast section. You can find a link in the upper right of our site, and seek those out. They are available on demand now. We couldn't run this series without our sponsors, and I do want to thank them for being a part of it. Today, representatives from these organizations will each be presenting on their vision for CRM and related topics in the dynamic space. We have presenters on the line from Marketo, Scribe Software, and PowerObjects. Each of these presenters will be taking 15 minutes to present to you some of their latest thoughts, latest information, and we'll begin in just a moment. We invite you to ask questions using the Q&A block that you see on the right side of the window. We will be saving questions for the end, but please enter them anytime. So now let me, also I would just mention if anyone's having any audio issues, we're hearing reports of a little bit of static that seems to maybe be going away. But if you do hear that, I would recommend looking in the Quick Start tab in the upper left and trying to restart your audio through that tab in the panel here. So without any further delay, let's get things started. I'm going to first introduce our speaker from Marketo, and that is Lizzie Funk. Lizzie, welcome. I'm going to give you control here and take you off of mute.
Great. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Lizzie Funk, and I work for Marketo on the demand generation team. I'm going to be talking to you today about who is Marketo and the whole area of engagement, what we focus on, and then get into how it works with Dynamics. So let's get started. So first, who is Marketo? Marketo is an engagement marketing platform built by marketers, helping marketers succeed in this new era of marketing. Marketo really helps marketers engage with their audience with one-on-one and personalized and continuous conversations across all channels, including mobile, web, email, and social. Marketo also provides advanced analytics that's really going to help you maximize your ROI on all the programs that you run and amplify the impact of marketing in your sales revenue generation. So if you're familiar with marketing automation, you're probably
Lizzie,
wondering.
Your screen's not shared just yet.
Okay. Can you share it with me, please?
You should have control. You should be able to go to the Share menu and select Share Screen.
Okay, sorry.
All right, I see it coming up now.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay. So if you're familiar with marketing automation, you're probably wondering what makes Marketo different. So what makes us different is that we're really marketing first. We're a marketing software built by marketers. The marketing automation software category has gotten really crowded recently, and it's gotten really crowded really fast. There's some big vendors out there in the mix, but we're the only ones who is 100% focused on marketing. And part of that also includes the marketing and sales alignment, which is where the Dynamics marketing Marketo integration comes into play. So we started with marketing automation. We added web personalization. We've added calendar. We've added budgeting abilities. We've added ad support. So we have a lot of different products that really help the whole suite of what marketers do on a day-to-day basis. So one of our main strategies is engagement marketing. But what is engagement marketing? So engagement marketing is the process of guiding your customers across the customer journey to build bonds with those customers wherever they are, whether that means engaging on social media, presenting a unified experience across devices, or personalizing content and communications. So how do we do that? Engagement marketing is about connecting with people as individuals based on what they do, continuously over time, directed towards an outcome everywhere they are. So this is what Marketo will help you do. It is a platform that helps you deliver the right message to the right person at the right time on the right device. So how does Marketo do that engagement marketing? Here's a high-level overview of all the capabilities within Marketo, all within the same platform. You can do all of your marketing all in one place. So if you're using different, or your marketing team is using different platforms to run any of these programs, such as building landing page, tracking their analytics, sending out emails, reporting on any kind of program that you have, this is a way that you can connect it all into one platform and then connect it directly into CRM. So why should you care? At the end of the day, we power the funnel. So from top to bottom, we help companies attract new names to the funnel, engage those names, and then turn those leads with relevant messaging across all those channels into new customers, and really try and help you decide and predict which leads are the best leads. So here's a little deeper view of the customer funnel. At the top of the funnel, you're really trying to attract more customers. You do this by driving more inbound traffic to your website and then converting those web visitors who are anonymous into known names. This could be through SEO or website personalization. Once you get those leads into your database, it's now time for you to personally engage with them. This is where the right message at the right time at the right device comes into play. So with segmentation and dynamic content and nurturing them, this is how you do that. And also helping accelerate the sales cycle for your sales team. This can be done with scoring and also triggers. And finally, once the leads are ready to be passed on to sales, it's time to close the deal. So this is by increasing the quality of leads that marketing is passing over to sales. And this is how you can win more deals with interesting moments within Marketo and passing into Dynamics. So where does Marketo and Dynamics kind of come into play? So no matter how amazing your funnel looks, there's always going to be pain points, especially when it comes to passing leads from marketing into sales. So this is the most common pain point between marketing and sales. Sales is often complaining that they don't have enough leads, and marketing is complaining that they are sending over tons of good leads, but sales isn't following up on them. This is where that sales and marketing alignment comes into play, and connecting your sales and marketing team, in this case between Marketo and Dynamics, is really important. So how does this work, the connection between Marketo and Dynamics? It works on a bi-directional sync between the two systems. So you have control on what syncs over from Marketo into Dynamics. Marketo uses the CRM API to send information to Dynamics. During the sync cycle, any new or updated records into your CRM, so your Dynamics, will be pushed into Marketo to update that. And any updates in Marketo, in existing Dynamics records, will also be pushed into CRM. So Marketo comes first, and then you do all the marketing, and you pass those qualified leads into Dynamics so sales can keep track of them. All right, let's get a little deeper into how this works. When you sync Marketo and Dynamics, you'll have access to read and write to your lead and contact records in your CRM. You'll also be able to see associated opportunities and accounts and use some CRM user information. That information is going to be read-only in Marketo. You'll be able to sync over any custom fields in addition to standard fields. And you'll finally be able to do custom entities that will be synced over as well. So what's the benefit of using Marketo plus Microsoft Dynamics together? So first is on convert. The biggest impact that marketing automation allows marketing to do is to deliver more qualified leads to sales, and that's everyone's goal. It'll help you prioritize all of your leads into Microsoft Dynamics CRM through a way that you can view them. It's called MSI, Marketo Sales Insight. Rather than assume that all the leads that you're receiving from marketing are equal, it'll really help you identify which leads need to be followed up on right away and which still need some time to be more nurtured. Next is automate. So marketing automation extends to your Microsoft Dynamics CRM support for manual campaigns with automated it'll turn your manual campaigns into automated campaigns, which will really help you save time and money between both marketing and sales. With this automated process, you can do more with less and really be more agile at the same time. Next is nurture. So this is, in companies with long sales cycles, it's really hard for sales to adequately follow up on each and every lead until they show up with, show an active interest. Automated lead nurturing helps solve this issue by developing leads who are not quite ready to talk to salespeople and keep nurturing them until they're ready to be passing on to sales. Next is prioritize. So marketing automation will really add a lot more information to the lead profile. The fact that full activity and social media history are all available allows sales people to really learn a lot more about their prospects before they make that first call. And because this information is in real time, they can make sure to call the right person at the right time. For example, right when they sign up for a demo, say, hey, I saw that you signed up for a demo. That's great. If you have any questions ahead of time or if you want any questions that you want answered during the demo, we can get that done for you. Next is consolidate. So marketing automation includes several tools to increase Microsoft Dynamics CRM data quality. This includes prevention of duplicates by appending information to that existing network, as well as identifying emerging duplicate records. If you have multiple locations where the data is stored, marketing automation can also help be a system of record, holding the data from all those multiple systems. And as a result, these salespeople can now be sure the information in your CRM is actually correct. And finally, prove. So marketing automation provides the information to manage the revenue cycle by the numbers. Based on metrics, marketing and sales effectiveness can increase. So revenue is more predictable, and it's possible to see how marketing and sales activities really contribute to the company's bottom line. So that is all I have for you today to just go over how Marketo and Dynamics works together. We can get to questions afterwards.
All right, thank you very much, Lizzie. Next, we will go to Nate Keefe we will go to Nick Wassenberg of PowerObjects. Nick, I'm going to open up your phone line and give you control.
Terrific. Thank you, Jason, and good to hear from you, Lizzie. I was, the past couple lives, I've been a Marketo user, so great tool there and great to see what's new. As Jason said, I'm Nick Wassenberg. I'm with a company called PowerObjects, and so we'll get into a little bit about what PowerObjects is and who I am, and then I've got just some prevailing trends that we've seen, and prevailing trends especially around marketing and CRM for marketers and marketing leaders that I wanted to share with you today, as well as kind of how PowerObjects approaches CRM from a marketing perspective and serves marketers in the ways that we do. So again, thanks everybody for being here, and thanks for teeing this up, Jason, as well. For those of you who aren't familiar with PowerObjects, we are a dynamic CRM focused partner, and so professional services are what we provide. You can see we have offices throughout North America. We've been in kind of high growth mode since I arrived under 2 years ago, and really that growth has been fueled by our what we call fanatical focus on dynamic CRM. So that's kind of the one partner, one product kind of focused mentality that we have is around CRM. And we've seen a lot of success and gone through the process and learned a lot from our customers in the hundreds of implementations and projects that we've worked on. We were founded in 1993, and we've been focused on CRM since 2008, so that's actually about 7 years ago now. We are the largest Microsoft Dynamics CRM practice in the world, and we also have the largest support desk specifically for CRM outside of Microsoft. We've been Partner of the Year 3 times in the CRM space, including the Microsoft Cloud CRM Partner of the Year this year, so we're excited for that announcement to come through. And I think it reflects the hard work that our team puts in and the knowledge and the way that we support dynamic CRM. We do have a diverse staff, but we serve our customers in the way that they need to be served, so we'll talk about that in a little bit too. We also have a gigantic amount of resources online that are free. So if you haven't visited PowerObjects.com, we do have very, very regular blog posts that are very hands-on and functional, of course, related to CRM. So there's some content there around the new functionality coming out in 2015. We've got some content around specifically marketing and marketing automation within CRM and other tools. And we also have the CRM book. So that's a free book that isn't a printed book, it's online, so we can continue to evolve it, and you don't have to buy the next edition. You can just visit the website and see the CRM book right there. So as we look at our web traffic, it's just exploded over time, and I think that just reflects the community around CRM really thirsty for knowledge and wanting to get the most out of the tools that they're using. Again, my name is Nick Wassenberg. I'm the practice director here at PowerObjects for Marketing Solutions. So that means that I'm actually not on the marketing team. I sit on the sales team and spend some time in delivery and customer care as well. And really my whole role is to help CRM users, dynamic CRM users, administrators, and leaders connect their CRM to marketing. And so that means a lot of different things, and we'll look at what that actually means and how that comes together here today briefly. But that's my role. So I have a background in marketing automation and used various marketing tools over the years, but now trying to just help the community understand what's out there, understand what the best fit is for them, and understand how things are evolving for marketers when it comes to dynamic CRM. Back to PowerObjects in terms of how we support CRM customers, it really comes in 4 pillars. So our 4 pillars are what we've found over the years, and again, hundreds of those projects that we've done. We found that 4 pillars are really the key to have success. And so one is service. So services would include things like implementation, migration, updates, things like that, kind of the core projects around CRM. As I mentioned, we do also provide support as our kind of second pillar, so support that's on demand for really any thing that breaks or things that you have questions on as you're getting into your CRM and as you're using it. We also have a very significant focus on education. So as I mentioned, lots of resources on our website, of course, but also, we do boot camps regularly. We're partnering with other CRM focus groups. We certainly do ad hoc training and training as a part of our CRM projects because, as I think most of us probably know, the tools themselves only take you so far. If you don't have user adoption, you're going to struggle in really seeing the value in the tools. So that includes things in CRM specifically for marketing, but it applies across the board for sales, service, and kind of XRM type implementations too. So education certainly a focus for us, and we've just found, again, in our experience that if we don't have a strong focus on user adoption, we're just not going to, and educating user, training the trainer, all those kind of best practices when it comes to education are really key to success in CRM projects and key to success for organizations. And then the 4th pillar there that you can see is add-ons. So add-ons are specific pieces of functionality that are managed solutions inside of Dynamic CRM. And so we've built those really in response to needs that customers have repeatedly around extending some of the functionality inside of CRM, and really it becomes a way that we can continue to support CRM users as repeated requests come in. Instead of doing custom development every time that somebody might want a specific enhancement or extended functionality, we just make them available to the community, including free downloads and free trials on our site to trial. We make those available to everyone, and so hundreds of thousands of downloads and use cases of those around the world, and we'll get into what some of those look like. But really the 4 pillars in every project have some role to play, and so the key that has, again, led to our success and our customer success, really, I mean, that's what it comes down to, is having successful customers that are advocates really rely on this 4-pillar strategy. In terms of the add-ons, you'll see a number of them listed here in the columns on the right. So there are quite a few. And again, these are meant to be low-cost opportunities to enhance CRM. They do follow a click, try, subscribe model. So you could go and download any of these right now and start to use them literally within minutes in many cases. So very easy to install, very easy to get set up and start to understand how you can use them for the business process that you have. And so many of them do have a kind of marketing slant. We have an integration add-on for MailChimp called Power MailChimp. We have Power Web Form for creating web forms that can be surfaced on your existing website and deduplicate records as they come in, create contacts and leads off of those form submissions, and so forth. We have a survey tool that's popular within marketing, web traffic tracking that can be applied and then, of course, recorded within CRM, so we can use that. We have Power Score. We're doing lead and contact scoring within CRM. So really a full bundle of enhancements, many of which extend productivity, extend the functionality of the CRM system kind of at its core, and of course it helps lead marketers to better results using these tools and keeping the system as integrated with these kind of tactics as we can be. So here are some that are specifically focused on marketing automation or marketing use cases, and you can see event marketing, surveys, document sharing and bundles, email, of course. We also have an add-on for text messages and SMS. So again, something that lets you have an easy path to get these things installed and start to use them. Oftentimes marketers will experiment with different tactics to see if they resonate with their audience, or you can use these as kind of a consolidated system to do a number of different marketing tactics all in conjunction with each other and use the built-in CRM workflows to facilitate data sharing. And really, I mean, the idea here is that we're having a consolidated system that allows us to carry out our marketing tactics with CRM as the cornerstone of that relationship. One thing that we found in a study that bears that out is the importance of marketers using CRM and taking full advantage of it. And I think this is reflected in a few different trends, but you can see here that there's a study that came up from the Aberdeen group that compared the leaders, organizational leaders, so organizations that had higher than average revenue and profitability growth, compared that group with the laggards. And so you can see here, 73% of that leaders group, so again, profitability and high revenue growth, 73% of those folks had their marketing campaign results integrated with CRM, and 64% of that group had their marketing automation platform integrated with CRM. So again, CRM focus, integration, and really building out that full life cycle approach to marketing. The comparison with the laggards group, or the below average group, is pretty stark. So 46% have the campaign results integrated with CRM, and 25% have their marketing automation integrated with CRM. So a distinct difference, and I think one that will continue to differentiate organizations that are competitively, ahead of the game relative to those that might be falling behind. So an important thing, a couple important data points that really drive home the importance of CRM for marketers, that CRM is not just a tool for sales or service. It certainly is a tool that should be front and center for marketing. If we think about how that comes together, I think one of the kind of most straightforward ways that we might start to apply CRM in the marketing space is to start thinking about the org chart of a typical marketing function and how can we use some of the reporting and analytics of that function. So I won't go over every bullet point here, but I think there is a real need for C-level and executive level reporting that we can have confidence in. So confidence for the C-suite in what marketing returns we're getting, what type of data and which campaigns are most effective, how much are we getting traction in our audiences and maybe entering new markets. There's definitely data that should be flowing into CRM that can help surface that data in dashboards and charts and things like Power BI, even extending the functionality of CRM. So from the C-level on down to these different functional areas, demand gen, certainly lots of data that can be surfaced for them in CRM, social, the analytics core team, brand management, and marketing operations. All of those can have data and should have data, in our opinion, that is surfaced in CRM. And the key to that is having systems that are integrated and having systems that have a common set of definitions in CRM that can then be applied either in the tools that you're using in CRM to do marketing or in extending it to a third-party marketing automation system potentially. So extending that functionality in extending how the data flows, I think, is an important piece and will continue to be important for marketers and really gives them, more than anything, gives them a reason to have a seat at the table for CRM decisions. To that end, and kind of where some of this data and these ideas and concepts are coming from, actually come from an ebook that we put out recently called CRM for the CMO. So this is all about why CRM for marketing leaders and their staff, what makes sense for this now, and how do we take, if we know it makes sense, how do we take that and start to take action on it and use CRM with marketing kind of having that as their focal point. And so one thing that we've noticed over time is that there's more accountability for marketing when it comes to revenue. You know, there's this whole rise of going digital and providing real results in terms of revenue from marketing. There oftentimes is a knowledge gap for marketers in how they use CRM, so we're trying to help fill that. We're also trying to provide some ammunition and some guidance. So again, making the case for CRM as a tool for marketers and providing guidance on how to help marketers make the case for that and how to start to use it once they've made their case. So within that book and within that kind of the content we've put around this ebook and this series of content, it kind of comes from 4 trends that have led us to one conclusion. And so the first one is the changed buyer. So I just mentioned the shift to digital. I think we can all recognize that buying behavior has changed significantly in the past 10 to 20 years, and that has definite impact on the technology that's being applied, including, of course, CRM. We've seen more and more marketing leading strategy, and this is outlined in the ebook too, but I think the general premise is that moving forward is oftentimes less risky than standing still and trying to iterate on small tactical kind of changes. So big shifts coming, disruption in lots of different industries, and that really puts more pressure on marketing to have all the facts and to have confidence in the data that they're looking at and the data that's going to help drive the business forward. So that results in the changing role of marketing, third bullet there. So we're having an evolution of what the skill set is and what the tools and the focus and the spending, which also leads us to architecture challenges in terms of marketing technology. So how do you build a technology roadmap for success when there's literally thousands of different solutions that we could choose? How do we choose the right ones and make some sense of it? So these are challenges and trends that have happened that marketers are grappling with on a daily basis. I think the conclusion is that CRM and the connected marketing technology is and will continue to be more important than ever. So we've kind of hit a new dawn that CRM needs to be a focal point for marketing. So to do that, as I said, we've put together some content. I think one of the pieces to keep in mind is that your CRM partner matters in terms of connecting out those marketing technologies. The middle piece there, again, we have the ebook available for free, no form. It's just out there ready for download at that bit.ly link, so check that out. And we also want to keep in mind the 4 pillars, so service, support, education, and add-ons, again, specifically for marketers and for people that are trying to either ramp up their marketing or make changes in the marketing technology they're using. Service, support, education, and add-ons apply to that without a doubt, and it also applies to the core CRM and any kind of new projects or implementations you might be going through.
We are at time, Nick.
Oh, okay. So last slide here, just on a few bullet points. You can review those quickly. And then if you have any questions, please let me know. There's my contact information, as well as the link to kind of our homepage for PowerObjects Marketing Solutions. Lots of content there that can tell you more about the PowerPack add-ons, as well as things like Dynamics Marketing, social engagement, Power BI, and so forth, really to tap into technologies that marketers can use.
All right, thanks, Nick. Next, we are going to move over to Nate Keefe of Scribe Software. And Nate, let me open your phone line.
Thanks, Jason. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. All right, guys, thanks for sticking on the call, and thanks again. PowerObjects is a great partner in the Dynamics community. The service and support from them is definitely excellent. So I'm actually going to be talking about data integration today. My name is Nate Keefe. I'm one of the platform evangelists here at Scribe Software. I've been here for about 4 years. And then today, really what I'm going to talk about is different examples of how data integration can empower your CRM data, really your customer data. So today, we're just going to take a little brief overview of Scribe. If you haven't heard of us before, we're one of the leaders in Dynamics integrations out there. I'm going to take you through a quick scenario of an integration use and kind of compare and contrast, with native and custom-built integrations and why Scribe might be able to really benefit you. And then give you guys a little bit of thought leadership about thinking about, your data integration projects. So Scribe Software, we've been out there for about 20 years now, just doing data integrations, just building out a tool that you can use to easily connect disparate systems. So we're a global company. We're actually located, our headquarters is in Manchester, New Hampshire, but we also have offices around the U.S. and Europe. We actually have 2 products. We've had one from the beginning, Scribe Insight. It's our on-premise-based integration tool, really focusing on front office and back office integrations. This is an enterprise-grade tool that we're still consistently updating. We just released a major update this month. And then the other tool I'm going to talk about today is called Scribe Online. It's a web-based portal where you can build cloud, on-premise, or hybrid integrations extremely quickly for lots of different applications and databases. And then the one other thing to note here is that Scribe, we work primarily through this Dynamics channel, so your Dynamics CRM resellers are probably also already Scribe certified, so they can actually have Scribe come in and migrate you off that legacy CRM system into Dynamics or build out that front office, back office integration or into your marketing system. So Scribe Online, like I said, it's a cloud-based tool, so in a moment I'll give you guys a quick little demonstration of how it looks and feels. It's an integration development tool. And it's really for people who, are reasonably technical, but they don't need to know how to build or develop or write code. Really, it's just all logical. And then the other thing that may not be as obvious at first is that it's an integration cloud service. And we're going to go through one of my examples to kind of make that a little bit more obvious in the demo. But really what that means is it's something that you'll be able to leverage within your integrations. So really the benefits of using a tool like Scribe Online, the first one is really to ease the complexity of building out integrations. We have these things called connectors that talk to a specific API like Dynamics CRM, like a SQL Server, like Marketo. And what those do is they make it a little bit more approachable to build out the integrations. And then secondly, we help conceptualize those integrations. So we have this visual editor, which I'll show you guys, that really speeds up the integration and it makes it a little bit more consistent. It's all very self-documenting. It's all easy to kind of understand, so you can build simple integrations or even complex integrations. The third bullet here is about, having multiple ways to invoke that integration. I don't need to wait for, that new record that I created in CRM to populate in my other system. I can have it be time-based, or I can have it be triggered. The fourth one here is about separating the deployment of this integration tool from the development of it. We go through this lightweight agent architecture that allows, a business user to actually build out and install these integrations. It's nothing you would have to involve IT with. And that kind of goes back to, having that cloud service to do those integrations. And lastly, and almost most importantly, is the increasing the supportability and management of integrations. Thinking about understanding the schedule of integrations, what happens if something goes wrong, what happens if I need to make changes to that. So to kind of tie all of these in together, I kind of want to take us through, a hypothetical scenario here for this company, Acme Co. And so they have a marketing team that's generating, lots of good inbound interest for this company's products and services. And so they're going to leverage CRM for their sales team. And what they really want to do with that is they're getting all these leads from their marketing system. And it's hard to understand, who's qualified, maybe who's not qualified. And so they want to get a lead enrichment tool to help them understand where these leads are located, what industry they're in, and how they can segment those out to those salespeople. So with having that enriched data, so understanding, where are they going to fit in the pipeline? Are they going to be able to get more engaged with this client because they know more about them? Because really their clients already know about them anyways. They've done their research. And hopefully that's going to help them win more business. So to kind of show maybe what that would look like in the end here, I'm going to go into my CRM system. Let's take a look at, one of my accounts in here. And so at the end, what they really want to do is be able to, open up one of these accounts in here. And we'll see up here at the top, I have this integration running. It's going to go out, and it's going to look for information about this company. So this is just, it's going out. It's using another service. It's called Inside View. It does some lead enrichment, and it's just basically taking this company name, and it's going out and it's finding information about them. So maybe it's the location. Maybe if they were, a public company, we can get some more information. Let's do this real quick. Let's check out Marketo. They're a publicly owned company. So I'll take Marketo. I'm going to send this through the integration. And there we go. We have a bunch of information about Marketo, where they are. So maybe I have a certain sales rep that covers the California area. Maybe I know that this is going to be a bigger client for me. So I can go out and assign ownership through CRM workflows or even integration to better understand who this prospect is. So that's really what Acme Co. wants. So let's take here kind of to compare and contrast, how would we do this without Scribe? So you saw I had the form there. I probably had to do some customizations behind the scene in there to make sure that every time I open a new window, I'm going to populate it with brand new data. Within that, maybe that's some JavaScript. Maybe my PowerObjects or my other partner is going to go in there. They'll handle that. But one of the things that you need to understand is that that data needs to go somewhere to be processed. So what does that mean? That might have some implications for my IT team. Maybe they have to set up a DMZ, and that's one of the benefits to Scribe, is not having to actually work with IT necessarily. You can separate the deployment from the development of it. Then I need to learn, what's that enrichment API that I'm using? I need to understand their API. Is it REST? Is it SOAP? How am I going to invoke that? I need to send that data back into CRM, so now I need to learn some CRM, read up on their SDK, know some C# and those kinds of things. And then the last thing I really want to worry about is errors, but I need to have some kind of error handling in there. So really, what does it mean when I have errors? Where am I going to, put those logs? Is it going to be on Nate's server behind the firewall, or is it going to be somewhere that everybody can get to, and emails and those sort of things? It's going to get a little bit hectic. So how could I handle this with Scribe Online? So we have a tool that's going to give you that visual design environment where you can just build connections to these endpoints. So maybe it's Marketo, maybe it's Dynamics CRM, maybe it's Dynamics GP, maybe it's Inside View, a data enrichment API, and be able to visually build out those integrations. So what we have here inside of Scribe Online is a kind of a palette and a canvas to help me develop this. So let's take a scenario here. We're going to get some data from, these are some existing connections that I have. I'm going to take it from an ERP system, and I want to take that data from the ERP and I'm going to push it into CRM. And as you can see, as I have all of these blocks here to now represent the operations that I want to perform on that connection. So what in Scribe Online, we can just visually build out this flow. So I'm going to take a query out of CRM. I'll configure that to be, customers. Get customer information here. From GP. And for every customer that I get back, I'm going to go through a loop, the logic of what I want to do with that. So let's go to CRM. Let's do a lookup and find that corresponding account. We can put in our own filter criteria here. Maybe it's the name that's matching. Maybe it's the GP customer number. Maybe it's a key, whatever the case may be. Let's see if we find it. And then do some logic in here to say if else, to say if we find it, let's do an update step. Let's update that CRM record that we just found in the lookup. And if we don't find it else, let's go ahead and create a new one. And so through this drag and drop editor, I can visually see where I'm going to go within it, just from the logic, just from the high level view of it. And then within each of these blocks, I'll be able to configure what do I want to create or what do I want to update and what are those field mappings there. I'll show you a finished product of that. So these things can be simple. They can be to my own kind of customizations. If I don't use out-of-the-box objects in either of these systems, Scribe's going to expose those. So that you just get this nice little GUI to say, well, what kind of record do you want to create? And Scribe will show you all those different objects in here. So if we want to create an account, great. We'll have fields that we have from our query over here on the left, and we'll have fields over here on the right that we want to map to. We can do formulas in here. It's going to do some validation. That's all great. This stuff even comes as a template. And the other thing I talked about was kind of the supportability and the management of it. So I have all these different integration mappings here. I can put these out on a schedule to run. If I have a company, they only want to do batches at 7 p.m. every night, well, great. Let's do a recurring. We'll do it on Monday through Friday here, and let's do it at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. every night, we'll run it. If they want it to run a little bit more frequently, we'll put it on a recurring basis. And although, it really should never happen, it might be bound to happen that you might encounter some errors with that integration. So Scribe as the tool, all through this online portal, I can look at what my integrations have been running, what's the next schedule for them, if they've encountered any errors. So here I have an integration that ran 109 records and 2 of those failed. So through our UI, I can see in here that I have 2 records, 2 customers, where the sales orders were not created because they've exceeded their credit limit. So this is kind of Scribe working for you. Even though this sales order wasn't created, these are just business rules that are stopping it. And so this is where I can go and take action to go and update CRM and put them on that credit limit, or I can just notify my sales people. So when you're thinking about integrations, you're going to be working with partners, you're going to be building statements of work, there's going to be a beginning, there's going to be an end, and some milestones in there. And that's good to work for projects, that's good to get the work done. But when you're thinking about integration, think about it at the big picture level, that this is going to be a process that can be repeated throughout your enterprise. So today it could be what I showed, front office and back office. It could be data enrichment. But tomorrow, there might be an integration need for Marketo and CRM integration. Or there could be a new API that was released, or we have a new marketing manager who's going to implement some new rules. So being able to go into that tool with the GUI in there, you'll be able to make those types of customizations very quickly and be able to just update that across all of your solutions. So a quick little summary in here. This is a tool. that you can develop all through a browser. It's going to work for on-premise integrations. It's going to work for all cloud integrations or a hybrid of the two. That whole UI in there is really there to help ease the complexity of working with different APIs, different ways that, some databases hold data and being able to bring those two together, as well as help you kind of conceptualize what that integration is going to look like. How am I going to transform my lead in Marketo to either a lead or a contact inside of CRM? And then how do I get those onto a list, et cetera? And then the last piece of it is really, how do I support this? How do I do error management? How do I do alerting? This all comes within Scribe Online, and it's all kind of point and click. So think about, hours or days for integrations, not weeks or months. We have some case studies and white papers for customers probably similar to you in the same types of verticals. We also have a free trial if you're interested. There's lots of kind of templates and kind of starter packs that you can use to take a look at it. But if you do have any other questions, I really only skimmed the surface today with what we can connect to and what types of integrations we can provide. Definitely give us a call or shoot us an email if you're thinking about an integration project.
All right, thanks so much, Nate. I'm going to take control back here, and we would like to open it up for Q&A now. A couple of things have come in, and before I do that, let me just put up our presenters' contact information here. I know they'd all be happy to take additional questions from you after the session as well. One question that's come in a couple times is just regarding the session and whether it'll be available later on demand. The answer is yes, we are recording today's session. We'll be sending an update when it is available. Question that came in, Nick, during your presentation, and maybe we'll start with you, but I'm happy to certainly open it up to the others as well. Aside from updating theme colors, how do you approach customizing and styling the interface of Dynamic CRM Online? And Nick, let me make sure you're off of mute here if you want to take that one.
Oh. Great. I started to answer and realized you couldn't hear me. That's good. So, I mean, we have started to work with customers on some of the theming. That's a relatively new feature, so that's definitely part of it. I think the thing to keep in mind, and it's kind of back to the basics of CRM, both design and implementation, is thinking about the user, right? So a sales user is going to have a separate set of needs, whether that's applying some of the inside view information as we saw, or whether that's applying some web tracking information or email engagement information. All of those things need to be surfaced in a way that's going to be meaningful for that user. So certainly different views for different folks. I think the sky's the limit in terms of that kind of functionality and configurability in CRM oftentimes. The other piece that we've really focused on in PowerObjects organizationally is mobility. And so as I sit in as the practice director for marketing solutions, we also have the equivalent practice director for mobility. And so his role is really, let's think about how to make CRM mobile and think about whether that means some sort of custom app, whether that means a third-party application solution, whether that means the native kind of mobility solutions that are available for CRM. So lots of different ways to do that. I think mobility is becoming one that's more and more important. But at the end of the day, it really gets back to understanding users and understanding what data is most important to them, and understanding the way that they're going to be using the tool, in what device and in what way as they go about their daily work. Goes back to the adoption concept too. I think the latest version of the navigation is one that people are going to need to get used to a little bit, but it's also one that I think is a benefit to users, and the faster and easier and more intuitive you can make the interface, and how we've seen the interface continue to evolve from Dynamic CRM, I think that really adds a lot of value too.
All right, great. And before I throw that open to our other presenters, I maybe would just want to add a second element to this topic. So even beyond the interface, because I know for companies like Marketo, Scribe software, obviously Microsoft technology is very important to you and what you do in your solutions, and also probably to what you see in your customers. Lizzie, maybe we'll start with you, but what's your view either on the evolution of the dynamic CRM interface and customizing it, or broader Microsoft technology trends that you're paying attention to? And let me take you off of mute here, Lizzie.
Yeah, of course. So I think we've all seen that the whole evolution of sales and marketing is we're all getting too busy, and ways to make everything more productive is the priority of everybody. How can we be more productive to really enable and do our jobs as well as we can? And definitely there are ways within CRM that you can really be more productive, especially by connecting it to marketing automation. You can really pass on specific data that you want to really make sure that your sales team is being as productive as possible when they're following up on those leads. And also, when they're, what Nick just touched on as a mobile part is like that whole aspect of really reaching the right person at the right time on the right device. That involves who you're contacting, but it also involves us, the people who are actually doing it. So making sure that we can find out this information wherever we are, whether it's on mobile, if we're not at our desk. I think that's a huge thing that is really going to help the productivity moving forward.
Great. And Nate, do you have a take on this one?
Yeah, I love the new interface for it. With Scribe, I mean, you can connect to any entity, any custom field, anywhere. But with Scribe, you're really making these decisions based on the data that's in there. So especially with the new kind of workflow, so I can understand where I am in an opportunity or where a lead is, based on their lead score. Scribe can help take, the score from Marketo and push it to that lead, or it can start taking other activities around that lead and moving data around to help kind of make the users have a better experience about where their leads are, where their opportunities are based upon that. And I know also at Convergence they were talking about, this new version of the CRM API, and it's something that we're really excited about because it's not just new technology. They're adding lots of cool new features about it that, for some of the technical folks, it's really neat and something that we're wanting to expose within Scribe.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that last point. I think the new web API is certainly something to watch as it evolves. All right, well, we are at the end of our question queue here, so make a last call for questions, while I do that, just remind you, we do have a quick survey that will show up after you depart today. It takes 15-20 seconds to just answer a couple of questions. We really appreciate that feedback. Our speakers do as well. Yeah, let's start wrapping up. So first, let me just say thanks to Lizzie, Nick, and Nate for presenting to us today. And thanks to everyone in the audience for your time, for your attention, for your questions. It's great to have you with us. It's been a really great series. We actually do have one more event in this series coming up in July again on data integration best practices for CRM. So that should be a good one. And with that, we will start to wrap up. So thanks again. Have a great day. That concludes today's event.